Hola, fellow Gooners. Good morning to you all, good afternoon, wherever you are in the world. Just like to say big love to you all that bothered to take 10 minutes out of your day to watch yesterday's video and my virgin entry into this world. All feedback appreciated, good or bad. Need to get better at this sort of thing. Anything you'd like to chat about, hit me in the comments below or tap me up on my Twitter and let's talk all things Arsenal. I asked you guys to find me some questions yesterday that you might want a second opinion on, so I'm going to get into those burning issues right now. Today's main topic that 3 or 4 people asked me yesterday: Torreira. What's going on with Torreira? In my personal opinion, it's a done deal. It has been for the best part of the week, as I said yesterday, and I'll eat my shoes if you don't see him in the red and white come August. The journo's comments yesterday rattled a few people, poorly interpreted. What I gathered from it is that the guy was saying Torreira's done, and after that he prefers Banega to other central midfield players. Some people took it as he prefers Banega to Torreira, which I don't buy for 1 minute. I'd much rather take the words of the Sampdoria chief that said he's gone already than some journo that's doing a bit of guesswork, like we all are, that aren't in the know. So I'm happy that this guy's a gooner already. His stats, look at his stats. His stats are only second to Jorginho in Italy, and Jorginho for me is a much more well-established player, and obviously he looks like he's going to Man City for twice what we're getting Torreira for, and I'm not convinced he's twice the player. So I think what we're getting in Torreira for 22-24 million quid is a remarkable deal, and Sven and the boys once again. The type of player we're getting, high in intensity, nasty, as I said yesterday, a little Jack Russell of a type player. People are gonna hate him. He's just gonna be at your heels all the time, and I love that. And what he means for other players in our team is he's gonna free them up to play their own game so much more, rather than them all having to defend and do duties that aren't part of their game. I don't want to see Mesut tracking back. I want to see him up there just purely creating chances. I want to see somebody else do his donkey work. That's it for me, and I think the effect he's going to have on other players will really benefit us in the long run. Do we need more in midfield? Something somebody else asked me. I'm not convinced. I think we're at a point where we've got to start giving some young kids a chance. Ainsley Maitland-Niles' 5-year deal that he's just signed, awesome news. People see him as a centre defensive mid. Let's see him there then. If Torreira's not playing, let's give Ainsley a chance. I'm all up for that. Iwobi, as I said yesterday, I'd like to see him start getting a crack down the middle, or we might as well get rid of him because he's not a winger. So in the middle I think we're pretty well stocked, to be honest. I know a lot of people would like one more. I'd take one more, to be honest. Is Banega that guy? I wouldn't complain. He's cheap enough, and he's definitely a better player than that sort of money. He's not going to be in the team for the next 5 years, but for the next 2 he'd definitely do a job. So I wouldn't be upset by that, to be honest. I was asked who I'd prefer if we were going to bring in a centre mid. Now, it was interesting yesterday about Juve, with Rabiot being peddled to them. This guy, I've said it for years, he'd be my dream centre defensive mid, centre mid, if we could get one, and we could keep this guy for 10 years in the team. The 30 million that's bandied about his that for me, he's a 50 million player all day. The fact PSG need to get this money off their accounts, I definitely think if this guy's going and links with Emery already, and how much he's heaped praise on Emery for the player he's helped turn him into at PSG, I think that would be an absolute no-brainer and only a win-win deal. The other guy I'd like to see come in is maybe Ndombele. Really like this guy. If I shut my eyes and open them again, just quickly blink, I imagine I'm seeing Big Patrick, and I'd love to see that type of player. Same as I'd love to see a future Thierry back in the club, but childhood dreams are coming back. He'd be around the same money, I think, 30-40 million, which I think would be a really good deal, and a player we can mould however we like, and he's got a long future ahead of him. But like I say, if we go for Banega, that's a deal I'm not going to cry about. I'd be quite happy with it. Another question I was asked is, what do I still think we need in this team? Well, as I drew upon yesterday, centre-back. Now, if you look at what we've got at the minute, Mavro, Chambers, Holding, Socrates, Mustafi, that's pretty solid, to be honest. Could we do with getting one of those out and getting one more in? I believe we probably should, to be honest. I just can't pick who that guy is that we should get out the door. I think all of them could improve under Emery, so I'd be upset to see one of them go without finding out what that man can do with them. So next signing really for me is a winger. It's got to be a winger. Like I said, I'd happily see a centre back or a centre mid come in, but I think we've really got to plough on with getting a winger now and put all our resources into finding one, because that's where I think we are very, very barren out wide. So yeah, that's what I'd like to see come in next, is a winger. No idea really. It's not a position that I'm well clued up on, and players that won't cost us the earth. I mean, we could all say we want Neymar, Messi, Ronaldo, Bale. It's not happening. Dembele I loved, and I thought maybe if Lamar was going to Atletico and Griezmann was going Barca, we could have got him on a loan, and I think he'd have chose us over pretty much every other club on the planet. So that was a dream. It's gone. Winger wise, I mean, watching the World Cup, seeing a few decent ones. Lozano for a start. He might be worth taking a punt. I was really impressed with him. He looked like a sort of young Sanchez, but less of a dick. So I'd be happy with that. You guys, if you've got a shout of a winger, I'd love to hear him, because it's not a position I'm particularly clued up on. So if you've got any thoughts on that, throw them my way. What was another question that was fired at me yesterday? Signings, how they're happening at the moment. I mean, for 10 years, most of us have been banging on about a goalkeeper, a centre-back, a centre defensive midfielder. That's done already, and we're not even out of June yet, which is unheard of for us lot. I mean, usually at this point we're in our 9,000th Draxler medical and our 12,000th Higuain rumour. So this is a huge improvement what's going on at the minute from what us lot are used to anyway. Like I said yesterday, how you can still be a bit negative as an Arsenal fan is blowing my mind. So that spine's already been brought in now. If we bring in another centre-back, centre-mid and winger, then you've really got no room for complaint at all, in my opinion. And you've really got to have a bigger, long, hard look at yourself if you are still upset at that point. Is the World Cup affecting our plans was one I got fired in, which was an interesting one yesterday. I mean, obviously, it's going to make life a lot more awkward because we can't instantly target someone, go and get a deal done quickly, which is what has impressed me so much about the deals we've done already, is that we've made them happen, although this World Cup's happening. People haven't really known about I mean, we've all heard the rumours, gossiped, and a lot of them, especially coming from the countries these players have played in, have been pretty much on the money. Like I say, it's a tricky one. Yes, the World Cup's holding us back a little bit. Is it making a huge difference for us? Compared to other clubs, I don't think it is. We've got a lot of players who aren't at the World Cup, which is a bonus. I mean, look at El Neni, he's coming back after yesterday. Obviously, we're not going to get a full pre-season, but we're going to get more of one than other clubs are. And obviously, with such a big first 2 games in the season, I think we'll be ahead of the game, definitely. And if he does decide to bring in a couple more players a little bit later in the window, like Torreira, I think that'll just happen when he's had a couple of days to himself after Uruguay out the World Cup, and we get a chance to do a medical with him. So other targets that come in, I think the foundation of our team is already here, so Emery can get to work and then add a few little. It's not like we're going to get, as we have done in the past, on deadline day, 3, 4, 5 players coming in that we need to bang straight in the first team and expect them to be cohesive. So I'm really excited about what's happening on that front at the minute. Next random one. Somebody quizzed me about the World Cup today, so I'll give you my thoughts on the games today. Denmark, Australia. I only see this being a low-scoring affair, to be honest. A little bit scruffy, a little bit scrappy. Neither are particularly exciting going forward. I reckon maybe a 0-0, 1-0 either way. Maybe a 1-1 at a push. I definitely fancy Australia to possibly get something out of it. I saw more in them than I did in the Denmark in their first game, so I'd go for maybe Australia 0-0 or Australia 1-0 possibly. Peru, France. We all saw France. Less said about that first performance, the better, to be honest. And I'm not sure what Deschamps is doing as a coach. You look at that squad, I mean, wow. wow. You imagine giving that to the likes of Pep or, Emery or whoever. Shit the bed. You just... Too much talent, if anything. Trying to squeeze all that into 111 is unreal. And they're obviously really underwhelming at the minute. Got to see a better performance from them today. I can only see them winning 2-0, to be honest. I'd be shocked if Peru got one, but they might sneak one like the handball France gave away for the penalty in the first game, so possibly, but I can only see France 2-0, to be honest. Last game of the day, Argentina-Croatia. I only see Croatia getting a result from this game. I don't know if they'll win it or it'll be a draw, but I don't see Argentina winning this game. They really are an absolute shambles of a team. I mean, Higuain, Dybala, Messi, Mascherano, Pavon, Di Maria. People who say Messi's carrying that team, he might be, but should he be? No, that another one is just down to poor coaching, in my opinion. They should be getting way more out of them, but yeah, as a unit, I much prefer the Croatian side, and I think a 1-1, maybe a 2-1 result for them. I'd take that. So, mash out today. Australia or draw, France 2-0, Croatia or draw. Enjoy the World Cup, guys. Feel free to hit me up at @PsychoMank if you want to have a chat on Twitter about all things Arsenal. Comment underneath here and throw me some subjects for our next chat and debate. Take it easy, guys. Come on, you Gooners.